Good afternoon and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Francesco. What we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Francesco's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give him while we're working with him, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Francesco's been fitted with his own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Francesco is seated nicely on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. The first command they're going to demonstrate is heeling, which is proper walking on a leash. Fred and Francesco take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Francesco heel, and then you just start walking and he'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. We've also gone ahead and incorporated our automatic sit into this. So anytime Fred stops his feet, Francesco will sit, as you see right there. Now it's important when you're heeling Francesco that he walks nicely at your pace on your left-hand side. He shouldn't try to pull ahead of you or lag behind. If he does attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, you say no, give a tug and let go correction to the training collar, and then you repeat your command to heel and start walking again. Now the next command they're going to demonstrate is our stay command, which is a hand and voice command. Fred's going to use the open flat of his left palm and inch yourself from Francesco's muzzle and the one-word command to stay. He then walks out to the end of the training leash. It's a great exercise to build up self-control and maturity in Francesco. You want to start practicing this one at about a minute and work your way up in increments to about 3. Now when Fred returns back to him, he's going to walk all the way around him, providing an added distraction as he goes behind him, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Francesco holds the sit-stay throughout. Fred gives him some praise and takes off heeling again. I'll show you a little more of the heel, sit, and stay. There's that automatic sit. And come back around. He's got him in the sit. He gives him the stay again. Back out to the end of that training leash. This time, instead of returning back to him, he's going to demonstrate the come or recall command. Calls him in using his name. He comes and sits right in front. Then we have an exercise called the finish, where Fred's going to heel him right around the back of him to get him right back to that left-hand side heel position, and Francesco sits. He's going to demonstrate this one more time. Has him in the sit, gives him a stay, out to the end of the training leash.
I've trained this crew of carrier pigeons to deliver my mail for me. Do they always get it right? No. Do my letters make it on time? That would be no. Do they sometimes get lost? That was right.
Calls him in using his name. Francesco comes in, sits right in front of him. And then the move called the finish, Fred's going to heel him right around the back of him and get him right back to his left-hand side heel position, and Francesco sits. Nicely done. That's a good time to remind you want to practice all your commands with Francesco about 15 to 20 minutes a day to keep them fresh in his mind. You can practice inside or outside your home and just incorporate the commands into your daily routine with him. Now we're going to be showing you our down commands next. The first is down from a heel position. Fred's going to use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives him a stay and walks out to the end of that training leash. It's another great exercise to build up self-control and maturity in Francesco. You want to start practicing this one at 3 minutes and work your way up to about 5.
Remember, I never charge hourly fees, and you'll always get a free consultation.
Hi, this is Barbara. I want to tell you about Giver Agents, the children's clothing store, 8009 Ventnor Avenue in Margate, New Jersey. It is the place to go for clothing and so much more for children from newborn, brand new arrivals to preteen.
Fred returns back to him, he's going to walk all the way around him as he did on the sit stay, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Francesco holds his down throughout. Fred gives him some praise and heals him right out of it. We'll show you that down command one more time when they come back around. Now you see Francesco's doing very well, but if for any reason he doesn't respond to one of your commands, the first words out of your mouth are always no, followed by a tug and let go correction to the training collar, and then you repeat your command, as it is very important to always follow through with the commands you give him. And Fred gave him the down again, and the stay. He walks back out to the end of that training leash. This time he's going to demonstrate that come or recall command right out of the down. Calls him in. He's going to come and sit in front. And then the finish. Fred heals him right around the back of him to get him right back to his left-hand side heel position, and Francesco sits. Very nice. We'll give them a second to get lined up for our final command, which will be down from a distance. This will be the down from a distance. You're going to have him in a sit and give him a stay. Walk out to the end of that training leash. This is the only time you're going to use your right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop him into a down from the end of the training leash. Very nice. He then returns back to him by walking all the way around and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Now those are the basic obedience commands we've worked on with Francesco here at school. We've also started to advance his training a little, so we wanted to show you what you can work up to as long as you put in that 15 to 20 minutes a day with him. And Fred's going to have him in a sit and give him a stay and drop the leash completely and walks away from him and walks around the building. And you can see Francesco holds that sit stay. Fred gets all the way around him. Back to him, gives him a down and a stay, walks away from him again. Well, obviously we don't intend for you to go home in the first day to try working with Francesco off leash. We want you to put in that 15 to 20 minutes a day working on his basic commands with him, and this just gives you an idea of what you can build up to with him, as he is a very intelligent little guy. He holds that down stay throughout until Fred comes back and heals him out of it. Alright, we've demonstrated for you all the commands we've worked on with Francesco here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Francesco, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.